Hey there, boys and girls, moms and dads. Welcome to today's edition of Bill's Weather 101 at home. The day we are recording this, the 25th of March, would have been at a couple of schools in Boyle County. If it would have been a regular school day, obviously it's not. Would have been over at Tolliver Elementary as well as Junction City. Obviously, we're doing our lessons at home. So what are we talking about today? We're going into another one of our primary weather events that you see on the weather map, synoptically speaking, or the big picture. We're talking about cold fronts today. We had warm fronts in an earlier Weather 101 at home. Today we're talking cold fronts. So what we're talking about with a cold front, again, you've got your area of low pressure. Remember, everything spins counterclockwise with that. So out in front of that low, that's where the warm air is, and that's where the warm front is, again, from a previous lesson. Now on the left side, that's where your cold front resides. That is, again, because of the counterclockwise flow. So warm southerly wind ahead of the front. That's where, again, you get those nice warm days, but then the cold front comes in. And when you see it arrive, that's when all the weather begins to happen. So think of the front here, which is really surface-based, more so than the warm front. It acts essentially as a plow. So it's based here at the surface. It lifts up that warm and moist air. And now when that front flow is steep like that, you see how the warm air just piles up over the top of it as the cold air plows in underneath. And if it's a particularly steep one or a particularly violent one, you can see those strong thunderstorms develop because that warm, moist air is lighter and less dense, and so it tends to rise. So rain and thunderstorms form along and just ahead of those cold fronts. Again, it's plowing the air out in front of it, lifting it up, and when it lifts it up violently, you can create these rain and thunderstorms. Now, a couple other things about the cold front. You see, as we have it drawn for you here, you see the triangles out in front. Those are called barbs. And yesterday we talked about the warm front with the pips in the front. Well, the barbs are the triangles. And from our Weather 101s that we do in the school, when we talk about the warm front, again, it's a semicircle because it's a hug. It's Mother Nature nice and warm. The barbs with a cold front, that's totally different. You walk out on a cold day, it just whaps you upside the head. It's nasty, it's hard, it's sharp. And so that's why I think of it that way. It's a blue line with the triangles out in front. It's a sharp feeling air mass. So cold fronts, the blue triangles, the warm fronts are the red hugs. Cold fronts are the active area. Actually, all fronts are the active areas, but that's the clash zone where weather goes on. Remember, with the warm fronts, weather can happen well ahead of the front, but with the cold front itself, most of the action is along and just near the front. So thank you for clicking on today's Bill's Weather 1 at home as we talk about cold fronts. Keep tuning in as we keep bringing you more weather lessons at home.